Hello, I'm Arthur Perkins, and this is Apgamingreal. Welcome to the first episode of On the Table's Top, Stars Without Numbers. I will be your Space Master of Space, Arthur Perkins. So, here we are. On the offhand assumption that you are one of the non-zero people who are watching the show for the first time, either tonight or on YouTube, we're going to introduce ourselves in full for longtime viewers. This will mean, of course, that you're going to be hearing everything you've already heard about. I'm an electrical engineer. I am also a Twitch streamer and tabletop GM. And, well, I'm just about to start my 6th year of tabletop GM streaming. That'll be next month. Let's find out who the rest of these fantastic people are. And I want to say, by the way, this is a show about art by artists, except for me. I'm not an artist. I am, however, a cast member of this show. Don't be confused. Some people are confused. I am, in fact, a member of the cast of this show. But these people are artists, and nothing stops you from asking them questions about their art. You don't need to send it to me because I don't know what you're saying, and I don't know how to tell these people that I don't know. It makes me feel bad when people are like, but the perspective, and I'm like, I don't know what that is, man. I'm sorry. All I do is just look for drow with fangs. I got somebody to draw that, and my life was complete at that point. So, speaking of people who draw drow with fangs, let's start with conorhughes.
How's it going, everybody? My name is conorhughes. I'm a Twitch streamer and comic book artist. You can find me at twitch.tv/conorhughes. There I work on my comic books quite frequently. Yeah, so I'm really looking forward to the session. We're going to be doing something new, different from our normal D&D, doing sci-fi. So very excited for that. And as soon as I can close a different program that I realized was still open, that's eating up all my processes.
Yeah, I could tell it was getting a little hinky there.
Super laggy. I just need to. Can I turn off the screen for a second? Because what I'm working on the other side is private, or can I just try and move it to another screen? I'll try and solve this.
You'll figure something out. It'll snap us all out of position, but that's fine. I've never had a show launch that actually went well. So 5 years.
I can handle this without having to stop it.
Today I had to go back and look at all of the shows I'd ever done, and I realized that I do a lot less shows now. They just last a longer time, I think, but I used to do a ton of shows.
Quality over quantity, right?
That is not something anyone would ever have ascribed to me. Quantity, surely. Quality, that's questionable. Connor, when you're not using up all of your CPU resources, what do you do?
Draw if I'm on a computer. Otherwise, take care of my daughter. We had an evaluation today, and it went pretty well. So that was pretty fun. Got to see her pull a truck with a string. It was pretty entertaining.
What kind of evaluation is that?
I don't know. I mean, she's 8 months old, right? 9 months old. So I mean, that's the kind of evaluation you do with 9 months old.
Motor function, probably.
Yeah, something like that. So
my kid was driving cars. Okay, no, I'm kidding.
Wow, low blow.
No, I don't know what I'm saying.
They don't let babies into those cars anymore.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's illegal. Yeah, and tonight we're joined by robSHEPart. What you up to tonight, Rob?
Hi, everyone. I'm robSHEPart. So everywhere on social media and Twitch, that's who I am, robSHEPart. So pretty easy to find, I hope. I'm actually taking a break from streaming, but in a couple more weeks, I'll be back to streaming as much as possible on Twitch. When I am streaming, I'm drawing D&D characters, monsters, creatures, that kind of stuff. And that's it. So over to you, Bearded.
Hey guys, I'm beardedjalapno. I'm a Twitch streamer and freelance artist. You can find me at beardedjalapno on Twitch, Instagram, and Twitter. Yeah. How about you, Cotton?
Hi, I'm Cottontailed. I doodle and stuff. You can find me on Twitter. It's Cotton_tailed.
Wow, those went really fast.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to do something really crazy here, all right? I don't know that we've done this before. Let's talk about the style of artwork that we all do. I do stick figures. Cotton, what do you do? What's your approach to art? What artsy thing can you say to make my show sound legitimate?
Oh, I don't actually know a whole lot of artsy terms because I was never actually taught.
Connor, what artsy things can you say about your own style to make this sound legitimate?
I mean, I come from a range of styles. Like when I was way young, I really liked sort of more Western styles. Then that's when I hit my teens. I was sort of definitely more influenced by a lot of animes. In college, sort of I hit back to the West. So, I mean, I like to be a cross between something like a Toth. I mean, I have influences from like Toth, Mobius, and then like Otomo, and then like more recently, I really like Tonishi Zonyich, Courage Walker, and Michael Sandleville. So those are sort of
Sounds credible.
credible. But those are all really good artists. I really enjoy them. So I mean, I try and meld more American styles with European styles and a little bit of Asian, like a little bit of anime. So in that regard, I guess I consider myself a bit of a mutt. But it's difficult. You know, it's difficult to integrate all those different styles and then also create something that's cohesive. So I guess that's the challenge I like to set out for myself. How about you guys?
Do you feel legit now, AP?
He said words. Bearded, can you also say words? You got anything for me?
Yeah, when I started out, just drawing Dragon Ball Z characters, and then a lot of anime stuff. And then when I got into college, they beat that shit out of me, and then we had to learn all the traditional masters. And I guess my style is just kind of a combination of everything I see, and I pick the things that work for me and work for my hand and work for my hand-eye coordination, and that's kind of what my style is. I think most people are like that, where they just kind of pick and choose eventually what they like and what they don't like.
Yeah, my wife, like, her teachers really were against all the anime stuff, so they really like.
Yeah, I've heard that like for some reason Western colleges and art schools feel that anime is somehow a less worthy style.
Well, it can be restricting.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah, I mean, it's a tricky. I was thinking about this earlier because I had a feeling somehow that this question would come up tonight, and it's not that it's restricting, but it's like staying within a certain language and visual language, and in some ways, you could. This gets real tricky, but it's a little bit more constrained in anime than other styles.
Okay.
Would you say that was strange because it's so stylized, though?
I mean, that's part of it.
It's basically a stylized, not really dumbed down, but like more streamlined version of traditional like anatomy and figure and drawing stuff, whereas you're not using as much line to describe something. So it can be tough, especially when you're starting out, to try to use the least amount of lines to tell a story without actually knowing.
Okay. Yeah, Anyone else have any more style? Oh, Connor, you got something?
I was going to go on with that a little bit because, like, you got to think of the foundation of it. As far as I know, anime would be Tezuka, who was inspired by Disney, and so that comes from an animation tradition.
I think that the basis of anime comes from some fucking prints, man. Wood prints.
That's a little bit different. I wouldn't say that's the inspiration for modern, like what we talk about as modern anime. I definitely think Tezuka is the inspiration there. Anyway, let's go with that for this purpose.
No, we can agree to disagree. I mean, look, man, I just like wood prints.
I mean, I like wood prints too. Yeah. But I mean, they're hardly considered. I mean, there was printed art.
They're hardly considered what?
Anime.
Connor?
Like I wouldn't consider it in the same family as anime at all.
Okay. Okay.
But
that's fine.
Yeah. I don't know.
So we're playing Stars Without Numbers Revised. First, I want to throw a couple things out here. In chat, If you're on YouTube, check the comment, or not the comment, check the description section. I've posted several different things in chat. I'm also posting several things. Let's start with my 5-year poll, because I'm about to come up to the start of my 6th year. I just want to hear from people, how they got started watching my channel, etc., etc. That's less important than the thing I'm also about to send is the Stars Without Numbers Revised rulebook. The rulebook is completely free and contains 90% of the game. The parts that are left out are some high-level GMing stuff. If you want to play Stars Without Numbers Revised at home or just follow along with the rules with us, you can do it absolutely free. Click on the Drive-Thru-RPG link. That'll get you there. If you're watching on Twitch, you can actually click the Drive-Thru-RPG Twitch button on my Twitch panels, and if you buy anything while you're there, I will get a portion of that revenue, which I will then promptly waste on tabletop RPG books. So that's where I'm at. Finally, we have the Barren Moose sector, which is where we will be playing through. It's the sector of space that I've created for us. You can take a look at it. You can make some comments on it, I believe, but that's what we'll be. A final note. It's not my fault. When I started this game, there's a thing called faction turns or Stars Without Numbers. It's essentially a high-level minigame that the GM plays against himself. They take various portions of political entities, social entities, government entities, and corporations and set them against each other and base the events of what's happening to the players on those particular things. I've run Stars Without Numbers long-term campaigns probably 5 times now. I've rarely, maybe twice, had faction turns be relevant. It takes an enormous amount of time to run. I'm not doing it this time. Instead, I have a pretty good storyline cooked up, I think, based on all the players' responses over the last week. But also, I decided to try a new way to do faction turns. There were 2 audience members who were interested in playing 2 of the different factions. I therefore allowed them to pick what those factions would do. They immediately fucked up the whole universe. Like, instantaneously, they've already just, well, you'll see. You'll see. So
I mean, we already messed it up pretty hard last night, right?
No, you guys messed it up, but the universe hadn't been messed up yet, right? When we wrote the history of the universe together, these guys, I was like, what do you do for January? And they were like, here's my answers. And I was like, oh, so you just want to ruin the show already? Okay, well, that's where we're at then. So I just want to thank them for fucking up everything. And I hope that all of their plans go well, but their dice rolls were terrible. Their decisions were questionable. Some would say they were good, some would say they were bad. We'll have to see.
Did they roll Swedish dice? Is that why?
Let's introduce our characters. We'll do it in reverse order. Cotton?
I don't know what to do to introduce her. Just
Yeah.
like describe what she looks like and stuff.
I mean, who is she? What's her name? You can describe what she looks like. What class did you pick? That kind of, What minor things can you tell us about her before we get kicked off?
Daisy is a young mechanic who spent most of her time on a ship that does questionable things for money. She's young, so she's probably not quite an adult yet, with pink hair and tan skin. She probably looks to be of Turkish descent if she was an Earthling. And that's about it.
Okay. What can you tell me about Devi, Bearded?
Devi is a 6'5" robot, true AI. She's got a lot of boxy forms because I chose the box armor set for her. So she's rather large. She wears a lot of clothing. The only part about her that looks vaguely human is her face, which is very articulated. So most of her clothes cover her more robotic parts, and then she leaves her face pretty much open.
Okay. Rob, new host. Okay. Well, thanks for that host, Connor Hughes. Know that I'm watching you. And I want to remind you that the incredibly loud noise that plays whenever somebody hosts me is only heard by me, apparently.
The best kind of noise.
By the way, thanks. I forgot to mention it when we were busy, but thanks Lexi Tales for hosting the stream. League of Legends streamer. If you like League of Legends, maybe go check her out. Speaking of League of Legends, let's talk to robSHEPart.
So my character is Rogr Leeto. What I know so far is that he's more of a, I've changed him a little bit since we talked last. So he's not going to be a medical physician. He's going to be more of a archaeological researcher. So he's interested in ancient cultures or ancient histories and that kind of stuff. And that's kind of ties into why he's got this interest on the screen. I'll be drawing him tonight. I don't even know what he looks like yet. So we're going to find out together. But I know he's under 6 foot. He'll be slightly portly, definitely not a heroic figure, more of a, perhaps a, science type fellow. Dark hair. That's about it. Older,
Okay.
Not quite so young.
Yeah, I think that's part of the joy of doing the stream is we get to, draw through the characters together and find out sort of like particularly what they look like
Yeah.
on the stream.
It looks like Connor has already figured out what his character looks like.
Yeah, why don't you tell us about Kobayashi Shadow End?
Shadow.
Sorry, that's a reference only Cotton is going to get.
I thought you were calling me a bell end, but
No.
Kaisuke Skyflare is a.
How do you say that?
What, Kaisuke Skyflare?
Kaisuke
Yeah.
Skyflare.
Or do you mean Kobayashi Shadow End?
Yeah.
Both. You guys impress me with your, vocal ability.
You can call him Kai. That's fine.
Oh, whew, thanks, Kai.
Definitely.
Yeah, so we're keeping with the K names, I guess. Kaisuke grew up in the same planet that Debbie comes from, and where they like to exercise the humans. Eventually, they both sought to escape the planet or run to the planet and explore the universe for themselves. Kaisuke is an adventurer, psych, and warrior combination with telekinesis. And Kaisuke is looking to make a name for himself. He's been anonymous, his entire life, just part of a machine, and wants to escape that anonymity.
DP stream is his favorite stream on the Citadel.
I don't think that's true.
Definitely true.
I forgot to mention I'm a psychic too, so the bio psychic powers. So
I'm not a psychic.
Me either, but I'm made up of many different robot parts.
built by psychics.
Well, we don't actually know that. I do want to point out in the Stars Without Numbers universe, though, that before the Scream, psionics were capable of using their psionic future, their oracle powers to make code that would self-correct. So they hadn't implemented it into AIs yet, but they had code that could predict the future and therefore correct errors that hadn't happened yet. This ends up becoming a very big problem when the code has an error introduced into it, and it self-corrects to destroy anyone who tries to remove the error, and that's how Earth is destroyed. The code continuously tries to stop anyone who tries to stop the code.
Is that from the book, or is that...
Oh, no, that's from one of the side books. It's from the mutant book for this game, where Earth is basically a hellhole of like cancerous mutations and flame falling from the sky and robot paladins showing up to save everybody constantly. Yeah, there's a lot of different ways to play Stars Without Numbers, but tonight we shall play our way. So we find ourselves with a blank screen after coming in from an ad for Jello, orange Jello actually. And in the lower left-hand corner, it says 2665, Bear and Moose Sector. And we see a completely unspace-suited individual wearing jeans and a t-shirt leaping from a piece of metal off into the vastness of space. And it seems unusual because they have no protective coverings at all, and they leave behind a Tron-like streak of light behind them, of like teal. And then in the distance, we see like a kind of blood red streak of light also appear, and these two streaks of light follow as the camera zooms out, and we know that we're in a graveyard of dead ships. The two individuals leap from ship to ship, leaving the streak of light behind them. At one point, the one leaving the red streak comes into camera. She's a young woman of African descent. She's got some sort of extension coming out of her arm. It looks like a beam made out of television static that's just solidified into like a blade. And she's approaching the teal-colored warrior. And she says, "Uncle, you have to stop this. You cannot do this." He turns, and we see him take in a breath, even though he's in deep space, and he shouts back, I must do it. The dragon cannot be stopped. We've sacrificed everything for this moment." As they approach, she tries to slash him with the blade in like a wild overhand chop, and it just hits something teal-colored and bounces back as a shield of psychic energy blocks it. The two of them begin leaping from gun turret to engine block, constantly slashing at each other with psychic powers. Finally, the two of them get locked together. Some sort of piece of wreckage comes out and encapsulates them both temporarily in a tube. And so there's no place for them to run, and she says, "You killed your son, Uncle. You've killed all of them. We're crazy. We're mad. We have to stop this. You have to die." And he says, "Not before I finish the dragon. It's the last hope of the future." As this massive piece of metal finally flies past them, the camera turns, and we see that the two of them are fighting next to an enormous black hole, which is slowly pulling the dead ships in towards it. The screen fades to black, and that's when the intro music starts playing. We start getting the credits at the bottom. Executive producer, Apgamingreal. Director, Apgamingreal. Scriptwriter, Apgamingreal. And while that's happening, there's this incredibly funky beat that starts playing. And it resolves itself into like a 200% speed Nightcore version of You Spin Me Right Round. As the lyrics kick in, the screen goes completely red, and we get this Kaisuke Skyflare doing like 80s disco, right?
Right.
The microphone is floating in front of him using his telekinesis, and he's just doing the disco stuff. He stops at one point and looks directly at the camera, and it says Kaisuke Skyflare, as played by conorhughes. The microphone floats off camera, and we cut to an entirely blue screen where, without a pole indicated, there's no actual pole there. We get Devi doing pole dancing, which she can do because she's physically strong enough to do it without a pole. And so Devi's just doing the robot breakdown there, just like going up and down an invisible pole, gyrating. She takes the microphone and rolls it down her back, down, over, tosses it with her left hand off camera. That's when we cut to a green background, and it's Dr. Rogr Leeto. He's wearing a doctor's coat, and he just grabs the microphone, drops down, does a leg split, comes back up from it, does a little bit of a shuffle for a moment, then turns as if surprised to see the camera, and it says, Dr. Rogr Leeto, as played by robSHEPart. And then he tosses it off camera to a yellow background where Daisy's doing the robot, and then in the middle of it manages to Tin Man the microphone out of the air, and it says Daisy ? As played by Cottontailed. By the way, if anyone wants to animate that, let's talk.
I did find the Nightcore remix of Spin Me Right Round, so if they do, just send it to
Yeah, I have to go through multiple hands to get this done.
So The next thing that happens, the camera is again completely blacked out, but we hear a noise of something shaking and rattling, as if you're going through a wind tunnel, or you're on a plane that's about to land. And the next thing we see is a view screen filled with fire. And we get this robot that's looking at some mission orders and hits the play button, and a voice comes through, no graphic, that says, "This is Aurora, final mission orders. 2,000 meters above ground level. Turn power back on and begin guided flight. Take the shuttle down easy onto the Mir and Salt Plains. Turn 270 and use the storm to approach. Landing coordinates are in your system. The target is Marguerite Tiku. Her MES is out of control. Strategists indicate there may be an incident on arrival. Be prepared for an event. The family will be present. Exfiltration is secondary, but recommended for morale purposes. This message will self-delete. Good luck." So as the camera pulls out, who is on the bridge of the New Sky as you're going through, you're dropping down onto a planet, blind, no sensors, you're trying to stealth your way down there. Devi, obviously you're flying the ship. Who else is there?
Did we decide that this was our first mission together?
It is your first mission together.
Okay. Daisy will be there.
Kaisuke is trying to see outside what the planet looks like. Is there any place to see that?
Yeah, so you can pull up little sensors. Let me ask, who's the captain of this ship? Who's sitting at the captain's chair?
Does the captain's chair do navigation stuff, or is that a different?
No, so the front chair does navigation, piloting, and jump drive systems.
So
I direct you to that. I did a drawing of the inside of the ship. It's very bad. It's truly awful. But yeah, so there's three seats up front, and you occupy one of them, but you have to do all three jobs, Devi. But are you also the captain? Is there no one in the captain's chair?
I mean, why does there need to be a captain, man? Okay, I'm pulling up your drawing here.
All right, Devi's the captain. No one's sitting in the captain's chair. Kaisuke, are you in the secondary jump seat on the auxiliary control pulling up sensors?
What are the roles again? So captain and navigation.
Yeah, captain, sensors, communications, auxiliary, which is any of the other systems. The engineer has their own station in engineering, but can use auxiliary up front on the bridge when they need to. Navigation, jump drive, and piloting control are all at the front end of the ship. So yeah, let's talk about it. Who's where? I feel like we're spending a little bit too much time figuring this out, but
Daisy's looking for the VIN number of the ship so she can shave it off.
okay, that's what we cut to. We cut from Devi beginning to turn the engine system back on to Daisy under the engine shaving the VIN number off, and then watching as these enormous coils begin to turn again. She lays down flat and rolls out from under the engine as it starts kicking back on.
All right, so I'll have Roger sit in the captain's chair, but he's not, it's just an open chair for him. So he's strapped up, nervous as hell, not too experienced with these ship flights.
Okay. In the lower left-hand corner, the screen reads in white text, January 1st, 3200. Thalman System, Planet Zemende OTs. And as you drop down further and further out of the planet, Devi, I need you to make a roll to take the ship stealthily through the Mir and Salt Plains and to try to fly through a rainstorm without being picked up by planetary sensors.
Button do I press?
So it will be a piloting skill check using your intelligence.
Yeah. Can I just press it in this, or do I have to actually?
Yeah, if you press it, it should do something. Let me pull up your character sheet. See if maybe I can help you out here. Great question. I don't actually know how to get this thing to roll.
What kind of dice is it? You could just do a manual.
It's 2d6.
6 plus something. Plus 1, I think.
Please.
Yeah, so you'll be +1. Okay. Let's see here. A 7. Let me tell you what happens. The ship starts coming out of glide path. We see the atmospheric interference, all of the flames that are around the ship, suddenly out of existence as the ship comes under powered flight. It dives down towards the salt plains, and just as it's about to get into the storm, you make that left-hand turn and slam into a pillar of salt. It goes flying everywhere. And at like the edge of the salt plains, we see somebody looking at like a sensor thing in like a tall watchtower, and they're like, "Let's send a ranger patrol out there. Looks like we've got some trouble out there on the salt plains. Getting you a vector now, boss."
Do we hear that, or
You do not.
We know about the salt pillar.
Yes. Oh, you definitely know that you just hit a salt pillar. The whole ship is like... There's a spray of salt everywhere, and like the whole bottom of the ship is covered in white powder.
They're gonna think we powdered our nose, Debbie.
Not as easy as it looks.
Okay, all right.
Any landing you can live from is a good landing in my book.
Don't mess up the ship too much, though.
I'll try not to.
All right.
Do we get out of this ship?
So let me ask what happens. You are approaching a edge of the salt plains. You know that you're going to have to land. You're going to have to hot land the ship. You're going to have to keep the engines on, deploy the landing gear, touch the ground, get the target on board, and then take off as quickly as possible. You also know that the target, Marguerite Tiku, is an unregistered psionic, that her MES is out of control. You're not sure what type of psychic she could be, and she's going to need someone to administer MES drugs for her mid-dimensional extroversion syndrome.
Do we know where she is on the ground? Roughly?
Yes, you know exactly where you're going to be picking her up from. The question is, who is going to be there when the door opens? Because there could be an incident. You know, with rogue psychic powers, you know, frost could manifest, random pennies could fly at your head and try to kill you. She could start draining your life force away from you. Uncontrolled MES is extremely dangerous.
Daisy's gonna be taking Mallow to the back to like put him in a little pen.
Oh, so is this when we first see Mallow?
Yeah.
All right, so he's a little ball of fluff. He's a genetically engineered cat, dog, rabbit that looks like a toasted marshmallow. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Toasted marshmallow.
He makes a little noise. He goes, "Pion," when you pick him up.
She's gonna move and set him in his little pen that she's got in her room or wherever she can put it. She's gonna say, "Now stay here. Don't do anything stupid." And
It looks
she'll
up at you with watery eyes, with tears forming as you go to leave, and goes, "Pion,
I'll be right back.
Pion."
Cool.
And then she's gonna quickly leave before she gives into the puppy eyes.
The door closes, and the Mallow just continues to stare at the door and go, "Pion," as the camera cuts away. Who is so you're going, Daisy, to help with to the back of the ship where the ramp is going to open on to help with getting this girl on board?
I was gonna go meet with the rest of the crew to see what we're doing.
Okay, you head to the bridge. Everyone else is there. Roger is just sitting in the captain's chair, like looking around. There's all sorts of buttons around him, and he's just not touching any of them.
Yeah.
Should we go get them?
Yeah, I was thinking I got this vac suit. I think if I wear that down the ground, maybe that'll protect me from whatever this natural environment is.
Do we have sensors? Can we tell if it's breathable air out there?
Oh yeah, 100%. This is a habited planet.
Yeah. All right. So how far away are they? I mean, I know that we know where they're at, but where are they? What's the building structure? What's
Shep,
going on?
you've wandered right off camera, by the way.
I'm over here now.
Yeah, you're slightly left of camera now, but
So
yeah.
it's on my shoulder there. And
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just we have smaller camera panels now because of the new overlay. Yeah, you know that at the edge of the salt plains is a small forest. There's a log cabin out there where the tikus live. You'll be landing in the grassy field between the salt's edge and the forest. There'll be enough space to put down barely and allow you to get back off again, but probably when you take off, you're going to set fire to the forest.
Can't do everything. Someone needs to go.
Is there any way that we can prevent the forest from being set on fire?
If you had a really good pilot.
Oh, okay.
Do we? How good?
I guess we're going to find out.
We're gonna find out. Yeah. So far, we're asking questions, but we'll leave it open. Yeah. All right, guys. Well, I mean, at least I know a thing or two about being psychic. Maybe I'll understand them. Maybe I can talk to them. Who wants to join me?
I'll join you. We're going to sneak up behind him, stab him.
I thought we were rescuing them.
Oh, that's right. Right.
Yeah, I think no stabbing.
Let's go.
No, we're not stabbing anybody around here.
Let's go. Come on.
Okay.
Yep. If there's a cabin, I guess we'll go scout and take a look, right? See what we're walking into.
Okay. So the three of you head to the back of the ship. You have to go from the top floor. You climb ladders down. You head to the bottom floor. Go to the back beneath the engineering section. The back of the ship has that kind of transparent paneling. You can see out of it, but no one can see back through. And you see the salt plains spreading out behind you. You're in the middle of a thunderstorm, so it's wild right now, moving at like 500 meters a second through a thunderstorm. But yeah, you pull up a quick sensors call from the forward end of the ship, and you see the cabin approaching. There are 3 people that are standing out in the field. The camera continuously zooms in on them. There's a little girl who's holding on to a stuffed bear that's missing one eye. A very worried-looking man, kind of portly. He's got suspenders on with some overalls as well, like 2 belts on. Seems like he really just wants to hold his pants up. He's also wearing like 4 backpacks. Maybe he's carrying everything he owns in them. The woman has on a sundress and a large wide-brimmed hat and just seems to be like trying to keep the hat on so you never get a look at her face.
And that's who we're after, right? Margarita T.
You believe that the little girl is Marguerite Tiku, yes.
Oh, the little girl. Okay, not the woman in the dress?
Yes, you are looking for the small child.
Okay.
Just to be clear, if you only come back with the small child, your mission will be a complete success.
Okay. And do we know who they are? That they're
The parents.
Their parents. Okay.
Yep, they're the Tikus.
Okay.
I'll try to fly thing without burning the.
And we have room in passage, like room and board for 2 more people? Or...
You have enough space on your ship to hold 20 people total. There are 4 of you, so you have 16 free cabins.
And do we have supplies, like oxygen?
Yes, you have supplies for 20 free people.
Okay.
That will last a certain amount of time.
Yeah.
Sorry, Bearded, I didn't hear you. There was a little bit of distortion. What's going on with you?
I said I was going to fly us down without setting everything on fire, hopefully.
Okay, yeah, make another piloting check. This time you'll make it with dexterity. You switch over to precise handling mode. It's like using the top hat in Elite Dangerous. You go from, using the joystick to just trying to set down without breaking a landing strut.
+0.
8, you put down with no problem. The back end of the ship opens as you do, and the 3 people start running towards the landing ramp. What do the 3 of you do?
Lean over to Kai and beg. So we're not stabbing any of them, right?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. And she just puts her knife away.
So I'm going to hit the button to lower the door.
Yep.
Are you guys Margaret Teague?
The little girl just like doesn't say anything, and the person who appears to be your father is just like, "That's right. We're the Tiku, okay?
Teague? Okay.
Yep. This is Marguerite. This is my daughter, okay? We're gonna come up the ramp now, all right? You're the people we were supposed to meet with. You're with the Psionic Academy.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Do you have any identification for her?
I wasn't told that we were gonna need anything like that.
Okay. All right. Come on aboard.
So as he's carrying the little girl, so he's like picked her up and is using her Simba style. He's like, this is her, okay? Do you need any more identification?
Do we have a photo like of her or?
Yes. Yeah, you have a photo of all three of them.
And it looks like her.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
At this time, I'm going to need checks from the three people who are at the back of the ship: the doctor, Daisy, and Kaisuke. I need you to make notice checks using your wisdom.
Oh.
Okay, so is that a 2d6 again?
Yes.
Plus 1 for me. Okay. So 2d6 advanced roller.
Is a plus 1 a 0, or do I need?
Plus 1 is plus 1.
Yay, I rolled good.
Nice.
I rolled not so good.
Despite
What else is new?
not being as observant as everyone else, you are well trained at ambushing people, Daisy. And you're the only one to notice as a man in a Confederate Ranger's outfit. A kind of blue uniform, old style with a wide brim hat. He's got a bolt action rifle with a scope on it, and he's raising it towards the family. He's about 200 meters away. Okay, yeah, you say that, and as you point, the whole family turns to look. Everyone on the ship turns to look, and the guy with the rifle is looking at everyone, looking at him, and starts pulling the trigger.
I'm gonna try and grab. Try and grab the girl and maybe whoever is closest. Like if I can get one in each hand, try and pull them into the ship.
Okay, Daisy, what are you doing?
I'll try to shoot him.
Okay.
Maybe stop him from shooting.
Doctor, what do you got going on?
I'm going to close the door as soon as everyone gets back in.
All right. Let's do this in order then. Kaisuke, I would like you to make a exert roll to pull everybody on board using your strength. The difficulty is going to be very high because you're pulling 3 people on board. And they're all looking the wrong direction, and they're all very afraid.
Okay. So it's just 2d6?
Yes. No. You go to, like, pull the little girl away from the father, and she just starts screaming, "No! No!" You notice that pebbles around the field begin raising into the air, Kaisuke. Dr. Leeto, the 3 people that you would like to be on the ship are not on the ship, and now not only are they not on the ship, Kaisuke is at the bottom of the landing ramp trying to steal a child from his parents.
Yeah, I was talking about more like corral, but
Yeah, it's not working for you.
Okay,
You're
so
just kind of young and scary, and
So I'll yell out to everyone, everyone quick, get inside the ship now.
okay. Make a lead roll using your charisma.
All right, is that another 2d6?
It is.
All right, so that's going to be our standard roll then. Okay. No pluses.
Well, some people will have 3d6 like Cotton for when she's being super techie.
Okay.
A 9. Yeah. All right. They calm down, and the father moves to block his wife and child, and in the process also blocks for Kaisuke and begins pushing everybody up. Kaisuke is still trying to take the child from him, and he's using his stomach to push Kaisuke up the ramp. Daisy, I would like you to roll 1d8 plus your dexterity score to see if you're faster than this Confederate Ranger on the draw.
What score?
What's your dexterity?
Oh, okay. I just didn't hear that part. Sorry.
Yeah, it's the dexterity.
It's +1.
Okay. You have a very highly probable yes.
I got a 5.
All right, what weapon are you shooting with?
The laser pistol.
All right, let's
I
look
just
at...
want to like shoot his shoulder or something.
Okay.
Maybe to get him to stop shooting.
We'll see. I mean, the thing about laser pistols is they tend to evaporate things, people or things.
You know.
So you're shooting a target that is 200 meters away, and the laser pistol has a range of 100, 300. So you're firing beyond its regular range. I forget how that works. It's a -2 to hit. Okay. So
Okay.
you are rolling a d20 plus your attack bonus modifier, plus your shoot skill, -2.
I don't know where the attack bonus modifier is on the sheet.
That is because you don't have one.
Oh, okay, that's fine. All right.
Do you have a dexterity score?
1
Yes, add that as well.
plus my dex plus my shoot score.
Yes, plus your dex.
-2.
-2.
Okay, then it's just a 1d20.
Okay.
I got a 9.
You fire your laser pistol. You try to hit him in the shoulder. You shoot over his shoulder and hit the tree next to him. It evaporates into a spray of splinters that forces him to hit the ground. But as he goes down, he sights in on the father and tries to shoot him in the back. If this hits, because it's a sniper rifle and it's a if it's a sniper rifle and the target is unaware of it, it's an instant kill if it hits. So, yeah, that guy is dead.
Is he aware of it? I mean, I assume he's still.
I mean, he's got his back turned and he's being shuffled up a thing. So yeah, Kaisuke's blocking the ramp. The little girl is being held towards Kaisuke, but now kind of away towards the mom. And then all of a sudden, Kaisuke, you're covered in something warm and wet, like the whole front end of your body. Your new jumpsuit that you just got into, your new vac suit, just covered in blood. The dude's heart and left side of his chest is gone. And he just falls in front of you onto the ramp, bleeding out there. His daughter hits the ground and hits her head, and all the rocks in the area back down to the ground. The woman is now just like screaming unendingly. Devi, I want to check with you in the cockpit. You could see all this on sensors, but not directly because you're on the wrong end of the ship. Anything you want to do?
Yeah, is everybody on the ship?
Everyone is on the landing ramp of the ship. Technically, Daisy's the only one that's still on the ship. You could take off, but if you tilt too far, everyone's going to fall out the back end and die.
I'll wait.
You could Phantom Menace it. You just take off and fly in a straight line and parallel to the ground for a while.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay, all right. I need you to make a piloting roll.
Yep.
Using dexterity.
6. Oh, God.
You're lucky, because this is an easy task. If you'd rolled any lower, it would have been bad. You sail forward at a fairly slow pace. You pick up off the ground, and so the camera in the back, it's like a really badly green screened in scene. Everyone just like reacts to something, but they're not really sure what's happening. And we see like taking off, and then it just starts moving away at a pretty good rate. Kaisuke, Dr. Leeto, Daisy, your ship is moving now. There's a dead guy, there's bleeding, there's a screaming child, there's a screaming woman. You're still being shot at. What do you guys want to do?
He's put blood on his character drawing.
That actually shouldn't be that funny. Man died for his daughter.
I'm gonna try and Kaisuke's gonna try and corral the mother, and then also grab Marguerite. Now she's passed out now, right, on the ground.
She hit her head. She's not been passed out,
but she is sort of.
You're not really sure what her medical condition is.
Yeah.
She's no longer screaming and moving.
Yeah. Well, I mean, okay. If she's no longer screaming, moving, I'm gonna think she's pretty close to passed out. And,
okay.
And try and pick her up and run into the ship.
Okay. All right.
Leeto will come over and help too, since there's two of them, whether he picks up the girl to help or ushers in the mom.
All right, so Kaisuke, you're going to get a +1 of this roll from Dr. Leeto's aid. I need you to make exert with your strength. Yeah, that'll do it. You scoop up the kid. Leeto grabs the mom. The two of you, Mr. President, them inside. In the process, the back ramp starts raising up automatically. Daisy, you have a moment before the ramp is fully up. You're still being shot at. They're, as quickly as this guy can work the bolt action, he's firing bullets at you. The distance between you is going great, but you might be able to tag him before you get out of the atmosphere. What do you want to do?
I mean, I might as well. He's going to shoot me anyway.
Yeah, sure.
Go for a Hail Mary.
Yeah, you got first shot. Go ahead. Make his day. This is still at a -2 for you.
I figured. It's a 5.
No. Okay. He's now shooting back at you. That is a 7. So you spray laser shots at him. He fires back. I wouldn't call it a hail of bullets because it's a bolt action rifle, but he fires 3 or 4 bullets at you. And the last one looks like it's about to hit you, but then the ramp catches it. And it goes off into the cargo bay, bouncing around inside the hold before finally embedding itself in a crate.
Daisy, get in.
Oh, she's in. Everybody's in. The ship is secure.
I never got out.
Yeah. Devi, you have a problem now. Your ship has almost certainly been tagged by a Confederate patrol. So let me ask, are you going to try to break through the atmosphere with pure speed, or do you want to try to stealth back out again?
Speed.
Okay. All right.
Is our ship fast? Like,
No.
Would we know relatively?
We have like a slow cargo ship.
You are in a shuttle. The good news is that Devi is a good enough pilot that she can easily do what's called trim the course and use gravitational eddies and other such things in order to treat the engine as if it's one rating higher. In this case, that means it'll double the amount of speed that you can travel at.
Wow.
So if you want to stay ahead of the cops for right now, you actually do that without a roll. Because I believe your Starfare allows you to make piloting rolls of 10 or less when you're not in a combat situation. So it only takes a 9 in order to trim the course, which means you automatically move at double speed.
Nice.
I'll do that.
Yeah, I figured you'd do that. Oh, sorry, it's all spike drive related checks at difficulty 10 or less. I actually am still going to need you to make a pilot.
Okay, with Dex or
This time with int because you're using the full power.
with a +1?
Yeah, no, you get perfect.
Yeah,
You see that there's a Confederate fighter craft that peels off to chase you, but it's not a spike drive ship. It's just rocket powered. It chases you out past the first space station at the polar ice cap, and you break out into space. You know that you're going to require 24 hours before you reach the edge of the system so that you can drill out. You might have any number of Confederate ships that might try to intercept you between now and then. So let me ask, is now the time you try to break sensor lock, or are you just going to try to burn it all the way to the edge of the system? How hot-blooded are you?
The sensor lock where they know where I am. Or...
Yeah, once they get a sensor lock, you have to break it. Otherwise, they have complete knowledge of your location at all times. It also means that they get a bonus in order to intercept you.
I'll burn it now then.
So you're not gonna try to hide, you're just gonna go full speed the whole time?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. What do the rest of you do? Kaisuke, you're covered in blood. You have a screaming child in your hands. Doctor, you have a screaming woman in your hands. Daisy, there are screaming people all over the place, and there's a dead body at the bottom of the ramp. So the ramp has come up, and in the process, the body has slid down it, leaving a red, greasy streak.
I'm gonna try and get her into a bed, and Doc, why don't you take a look at her?
So I will go take a look. I'm trying to figure out. You said someone has to issue, was it the drugs?
Yeah. So she has metadimensional extroversion syndrome, just like you and Kaisuke. She requires a drug treatment regimen in order to keep her powers in check. But right now, as a medical professional and as a biopsionicist, you know that she has a concussion. She hit her head pretty hard. There's a bump forming there. She looks like she's kind of out of it. This is not so great for a kid. And it's even worse for a psychic.
Now, if I remember, I should be able to just heal, right? Even
Yep.
as a level. So I should be able to do 1d6 plus 1.
Yep. You will give her some system strain in the process, but she can probably take it.
All right. So let's do that.
All right. What is your using your biopsionic power look like? When you go to touch her, is there like a green field around you?
I think for me, I'd like to have, you know how some of those movies have that inner glow within a hand?
Yeah.
Like when the power activates and you see
Elliot.
Huh? Yeah, like that.
E.T.
Elliot. Yeah, something like that. So the hands will glow, and then let me see what my roll is going to be. So it's 1d6 plus 1.
Yep. Any amount will bring her back to consciousness.
All right, I'll just roll 1d6. Well, any amount. Okay, so it's going to work.
4 hit points. Yep. Yeah, she's fine. She's fine in a physical sense. You do still need to dispense her some MES pills, but you were already prepared to do that, so you start getting her some pills out. Kaisuke, what are you doing? You're covered in warm, dripping hot blood.
Yeah, I'm gonna make sure that Doc's taking care of her. Then I'm gonna try and wipe down the suit, or take off the suit, then wipe it down.
So you're just standing around in front of a bunch of women, stripping your clothes off and cleaning it off.
No, I mean, I'm gonna walk off. I said walk off. Fine. Okay, I'm gonna go in.
You can go to your room. Yeah, if you want to, sure.
Well, okay. How about this? I'm gonna check in with the mother, make sure she's okay first.
No, she's screaming. She's dropped to the floor next to her dead husband.
All right.
I want to point out enough time has passed now that he's actually dead. The doctor could have saved him at any point if he'd used his psychic powers. But now he's actually 100% dead.
Well, I thought you said before that if the sniper bullet would kill him instantly.
Yes, but the doctor can bring dead people back to life within 30 seconds.
What?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
He's all like, "Yes, you fool! You should have known."
Yeah.
Okay.
I told you to read how your psychic powers work.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's super dead, and she's just like, if only there was a doctor, someone with a Lazarus patch, anyone. Herbert, no.
I'm gonna go into another room and clean off the armor.
All right, you step into one of the small bedrooms, strip out and head into the refresher to like scrub down the armor. Daisy, what are you doing? Everyone has disappeared from the cargo bay except for this woman mourning over her dead husband.
The whole time she's been with the woman trying to fix him. Like, she's been like tying tourniquets and anything she can to see if he's still alive.
There's no tourniquet you can apply to someone who doesn't have a heart.
I'm quite aware of that.
Okay.
But Daisy's trying her best.
I think the woman breaks out of her hysteria and then like puts her blood-covered hands on your cheeks and says, "Can't help him. He's dead now. He's dead. Just stop. Just stop." And she like puts her forehead to you and just keeps saying, "Just stop."
I'm so sorry.
We did it all for Marguerite. It'll be fine just as long as we can get Marguerite.
Do you want to come to another room and rest? Maybe.
When we get into space, can we bury Herbert?
Sure.
I don't want to say something like just launch him out the back, but it's not like we can slow down or stop, so maybe we can like have a quick funeral in the engine room and
Yeah, I'll talk to the captain. I'm not quite sure who it is.
who is the so when you say that she's like, you don't know who the captain is.
No, I wasn't really paying attention earlier. It's my first mission with these people.
Okay. And she sniffs a couple times and then like looks around for a tissue or something, but then realizes her dress is just covered in blood, her arms are covered in blood, and she's just okay, I'm going to find some place.
put my like hand in my pocket and pull out like a grease rag and hand it to her. Offer it to her.
That's so kind. Thank you so much. And she hands it back to you. I think you'll need it more than me. It's now covered in hand blood from... I'm going to find a refresher if you don't mind. Are any of these rooms fine?
She'll point to whichever one is closest to where they took Marguerite.
Yeah, so you take the one that's directly opposite. Okay, yeah, you hear the door shut and then just the sound of uncontrolled sobbing coming from inside the room.
Yeah. I'll go to the brig to see who's over there.
The bridge?
Yeah.
Okay. Devi, you've got a problem. That problem is manifesting itself in the form of a Confederate fighter. It's a gunship. It's got a spike drive. It's faster than you, and it's on an intercept course. It doesn't appear to have connected you to the crime, right? It's only approaching you, and it's sending you a Coast Guard message to pull over for inspections. Now, you could try to keep running from it, right? You could try to outpilot it, maybe break through an asteroid belt. You can try hiding behind any of the other planets here, or maybe make for a space station. Or you could just try to make a straight run to the rim. What do you want to do? As you're deciding that, Daisy opens the bridge behind you. So, inside the ship, let me ask, how do you guys keep the gravity when you're in space operations? Is it still one standard Earth gravity? You crank it down to 10% and let the cabot fly around? Half gravity? What are we talking here?
Right now, at least on a mission, makes sense to have it on normal.
Okay.
If everyone's comfortable moving around, is everyone comfortable moving around at 10%? Like,
I don't know. Are you? You guys tell me.
I think Kaisuke might be, but just because
Kaisuke spent his whole life underwater. Can you explain to me when he got time to get zero-G operations training?
I figured like underwater is what they use to train astronauts.
Yes, but I mean, he's been inside a building that's underwater.
Yeah. So, I mean, surely they allow some swim time there.
Okay, all right. I will buy that, Connor. I'll actually buy that.
If you say not, that's fine with me. I don't know.
Stacey's very comfortable with 0G, and she's actually a little uncomfortable without it.
All right. So have you set the whole ship to be like 0.5, and you're just like ottering your way, pulling yourself forward? Okay.
Pretty much.
Devi, are you strapped into your pilot's chair, or what's going on there?
Probably, yeah.
All right, well, door opens behind you, and Daisy just kind of floats onto the bridge.
We've got a problem.
Are you the captain? Do you know who the captain is? Do we have a captain?
I don't know.
Oh, good. I wasn't the only one not paying attention.
I could be the captain if it made you feel better.
Oh, sure. Can we get a funeral for that guy? Usually we just incinerate bodies, but she's asking for a funeral.
We've got bigger problems now. And I tell her about the guy who's flagging us down, or the ship that's flagging us down.
Sorry, I'm having a lot of trouble understanding you, Bearded. I'm losing a lot of...
Flagging. I'll tell her about the ship that's trying to flag us down and be like, we have bigger problems.
That seems like a pretty normal problem to me. You should just hide from them. That's what we used to do. Sometimes bribe them.
Am I done bathing? Can I come in?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Hey guys, what's going on? That could have gone better.
Confederate ship approaching.
Confederate ship approaching. What can we do, Devi?
I'm doing what I can, but I don't get away.
Do we have any options? What are you thinking?
We used to bribe them. You could bribe a guard.
You think that'll work with these guys? They're kind of hard ass.
Before, I'm just saying.
They just killed one of us.
We could also shoot them.
We don't have any weapons.
The ship has no weapons.
No, you just let them on board and then you shoot them and then you quickly hide the bodies before the next ones get on board.
That's a lot of bodies.
That sounds.
Yeah,
rough.
don't you? We usually just put them in a big incinerator and then just kind of blast the ashes out eventually.
Wow, where'd you get some crazy stuff? I mean, if you think so, I don't know. You think that'll work? You ever done that before?
A couple times. And if you mess up, you just dye your hair and change your name and go to a different system.
I don't have any hair.
Just get a new paint job. It'll be fine.
Maybe for now we should just try out flying them.
Yeah,
You could
I'll
do that
probably
too.
just try to outfly them.
I mean, you are pretty skilled, Debbie. I mean, you are designed for this. You're built for this. You can do it.
All
Or
right.
I'm a bigger and faster ship, maybe.
Yeah. Well, I mean, hey, you can't always be perfect.
I'll just try to outfly them.
Okay. Let's look at intercept vectors. They have a lock on you. They're asking you to pull over, and you're saying no, so they turn on the sirens. They're trying to jam you to keep you from calling for help. So if someone wants to try to block that jamming, they can, or you could just accept that that's a thing now. And let me look through the rulebook here for how to not get shot to death. Starship version.
Daisy, do anything about hacking? Do you know how to jam that signal?
I can try, but I'm doing many things.
I'm saying, Daisy. I figure you got your hands full. I mean,
I
sorry,
All right,
bud.
we make.
haven't really done any of the programming stuff.
Okay, all right. Doc, are you
I
in
can
here?
try.
I'm on the intercom now, trying to talk to Doc. Doc, how's she doing?
I've got her sedated. I'm coming through the bridge.
All right, all of you are standing around on the bridge now. Kaisuke is just in his regular clothes with no jumpsuit.
Doing work. I don't know about standing.
Everybody but Devi is standing around. I need you to
sensors.
make a piloting check. It's int piloting. You add +1 because of your spike drive. And they add +2 because of their spike drive.
Not terrible.
That didn't roll anything because I put the formula in wrong.
But you got a 2.
Yeah, boy! Oh. You know that you are inescapably locked into a intercept course. In 3 hours, they are going to be within weapons range of you, and they are never going to leave it. You have 24 hours before you hit the system rim. No matter what, like, you can't calculate a path out of this, even as an AI. No matter where you go or what you do, they're in on your ass. So you guys have 3 hours to figure out what you want to do before the cops catch up with you, and they're jamming your communications, and you're fleeing from the scene of a crime. This time, the crime is not pulling over when the cops say. So I guess you're resisting arrest. Yeah, all of you could see it too, because the sensor panels on the whole ship are just like Devi trying to calculate escape routes, and it's just a timer that says 2 hours, 59 minutes, and 56 seconds.
That
Do you guys
didn't
got
work.
any money? Sorry, go ahead, Bearded.
That didn't work.
Okay, that's all right, Devi. No, I don't have any much money. How about you, Daisy?
I have a little bit.
As you
I've
say
got
that,
25
Mallow
credits.
goes floating past you. He's upside down, and he's in a circle, and he's floating towards the view screen. He's just going to collide with it.
Who's floating?
Mallow, your cabin.
Oh, okay. How did you get out of your cage? She's just gonna grab him.
Yeah. He looks happy when he gets held again.
I have 340 credits.
Okay, well, we got 3 hours. I don't know. I mean, we could try talking to them. We could try shooting them, like Daisy's saying. I don't know how easy that'll be.
We could try to bribe him. I'm just saying, it's worked in the past.
And I try to jam.
And I was pretty sure that's what you always did when you met up with cops. You just give them some money and then they leave you alone. And if they don't leave you alone, then you shoot them.
I mean,
It sounds like you've got more experience at this than we do.
You cannot.
I'm not sure. This is
Debbie?
the first time we haven't instantly stabbed somebody when they came on the ship.
Wow.
Okay.
Debbie, you cannot jam the enemy ship. You can break their communications jamming, but you can't break their lock. They're better than you, and they've got you locked in.
Okay. I think we should slow down.
Okay. Well, first we should get rid of the body. Give him a funeral. I don't think we should have evidence of what happened down on the ground if we could avoid it. Maybe we can stow her away. Sorry?
You don't have any smuggling compartments on the ship.
Okay.
I
So
don't
they're gonna
think
know.
for a funeral.
Sorry, Debbie, I didn't hear that.
That I don't think we have time for a funeral.
Do you have an incinerator?
You have the engine system. You can incinerate anything in that.
We could have a really fast funeral, just throw them in there.
Works for me.
As my old captain says, they become one with the stars after that.
Herbert deserves something. Let's go talk to the mother.
So let me ask. You said you should stop the ship. Are you stopping the ship?
Not stopping.
Okay.
Slowing.
How much are you slowing down by? Because that's going to decrease the amount of time it takes for them to catch up with you.
Enough time to incinerate a body.
Okay. I mean, you could slow down to like real slow speed and have it so you got an hour before they catch up.
Sure.
Okay. Yeah, as you're leaving the bridge, you could see them coming over the comm system. They're like, "We could see you're slowing down. Stop immediately. We know you can hear us. This is the Confederate Rangers." The door closes, and we cut to a scene with all of you and the girl and the woman standing as someone is preparing to lower Herbert into the spike drive. And Mallow is just floating around the engine room, bouncing around. Boop. Like,
She's just gonna
like
grab
Pong.
him again as he floats by.
As you grab him, he goes, "Peon." The little girl stands next to you, Daisy, and like tugs at your sleeve.
She'll look down.
She looks at you with enormous wet eyes. She's been crying a lot because her dad's dead, and she just watched some pretty extreme violence. She holds her hands up towards you.
What?
She'll pick her up.
All right. So you pick her up, and then she picks up Mallow. And so the three of you are just standing there in like a group hug. And Mallow goes, "Peon." Does anyone say anything before Herbert is lowered into the fusion engine to be excruciatingly burned in an instant and then shot out into space?
Herbert, I'm sorry it had to end like that. But your daughter's safe with us now.
The noblest of sacrifices. Sorry we couldn't give you a better funeral.
So the wife goes, "Don't you mean my daughter is safe with me?"
Yeah, safe with you. I mean, you're with us. We'll get you guys someplace safe.
Okay. All right. Why was there some warnings over the ship's sensors that there's an approaching cut ship?
Well, in about an hour, we're gonna be boarded by the cops.
Okay, that's a problem.
Yeah.
My daughter will be shot to death, and so will I, and all of us.
We're not gonna allow that to happen.
Okay, what's the game plan? We're gonna outrun them, right?
We're gonna try and see if we can bribe them. Do you have any cash on you?
No, my husband had our entire life savings pulled out to make this happen. Everything we own is in the backpacks.
Okay. All right.
Did he throw the backpacks off when he was getting on the ship?
No, they're still in the engineering bay.
Okay.
Oh, sorry, they're still in the cargo hold. They're covered in blood, though.
One of them was probably shot to hell.
Yeah, the one that was directly on his back.
Yeah.
There's like a Teflon frying pan with a hole the size of a fist through it.
Frying pans, man. Never leave home without it.
All right. Well, otherwise, we'll take care of them. Don't worry. They're not gonna get your hands on Marguerite.
Okay. As a GM, I would like to give you all a chance to workshop your approach to bribery here. How are you going to do it? What are you going to offer them? And how do you explain why you didn't pull over at any point, even that time you slowed down?
We were testing the ship, and we we blew something in the engine, so we
No,
started.
no. You pick a minor crime to make your major crime less important. Pick a minor crime to lie about and say that's why you're bribing them, and then you don't tell them about all the people you murdered or the people you robbed from.
Were we speeding, Daisy, or what? What's illegal around here? Do you know?
What's legal around here?
What's illegal? What's illegal around here?
What's legal?
I could tell you what's illegal when the cops tell you to pull over for inspection and you ignore them and speed up instead. No one laughed at that. All right. Well, I really tried.
I'm thinking about the problem. Maybe we were trying to. Maybe these two were sick, and we were trying to.
No, don't mention them. They're not on the ship.
They're not on the ship. Are we going to?
Not on the ship.
Are we going to get them? How are they going to come on? Are they going to come through the cargo bay? Is that how they're coming through?
So they could, but more probably they're going to come through the emergency docking ports on the top and bottom of the ship.
How have you guys not done this before?
I mean, Debbie and I, we've been on polos.
We thought this was going to be a pick up the family mission and cart them over. We didn't realize it was going to be Confederate snipers and cop cars. So, is there anything in this area of space where we could hide? You know, we're clearly not going to outrun them. But
Nope, that's over with.
That ship's out.
You failed that roll.
Yeah. That ship's
Your
out.
choice was rather than try to hide, you try to run as quickly as possible. That roll failed real bad.
It didn't fail. We just didn't do as good as you.
That is called failure.
In the binary choice.
Doesn't matter how high you rolled when I rolled higher.
All right. Well, Daisy, you seem to have experience with this. What?
How do you not? This is really weird to me.
I mean, look. We can get back. We can get into that later. We've got an hour, right? Right, Debbie. So let's come up with a good reason. Otherwise, we're gonna have to kill them.
What else have you done?
I want to point out, Daisy is
lately
still
that cost-
holding the little girl when you say we're going to have to kill them. The little girl turns to look at you, Kaisuke, as if you are the worst scum in all of existence. And the cabin is looking at you as well, with its little eyes with tears forming in the little black eyes, and it goes, yawn.
Kaisuke is saying this incredulously. Meanwhile, Daisy's like, well, why wouldn't you just kill them all? Okay, fine.
So what other stuff have you guys done lately? Did you rob anybody lately? Maybe you could use that as an excuse.
We didn't rob anybody. Did
You
you rob
didn't?
anybody?
What?
So the mother is just like, I'm sorry. When the Psionic Academy contacted us to say that they could get us out, I had assumed that they were sending a professional group who knew what they were doing, but have I really put my entire family's life in the hands of amateurs that want to kill people?
No, I'm a really good mechanic.
I don't want to kill anybody.
You shot somebody. You shot at somebody.
Think this would be easy.
Can you hand me my daughter, please?
Sure.
Okay, so she reaches over to grab the daughter. The daughter doesn't let go of the cabinet.
Oh.
She's got that cabinet. She's holding onto it very tightly. The cabinet's just making some light cooing noises, like a pigeon.
As long as he seems happy.
I mean, this is a cabinet. It's immensely pleased to have any attention to it at all.
Genetically designed for attention.
All right, Daisy, what's your plan then? Because clearly you have a better idea of what could happen or what we should be doing. So what's
Can
your
somebody
plan?
please
What role
escort
should we
these fine passengers to their rooms?
Was that?
Can somebody please escort these fine passengers to their rooms?
I'll take them.
All right, so they're each going to need an individual room because the rooms are so incredibly small. They're basically coffins with a shower.
Okay, so I show them 2 rooms next to each other.
Yep.
All right, and I'm like, you can take your pick.
The woman goes into one of the rooms and is like, "There's a bloody jumpsuit in the refresher here."
Not that one. Don't pick that room. I cleaned that. I thought I cleaned it off. But
It's like mostly cleaned off, but it's still stained, right? Like, you know, it's really tough to get blood out of stuff.
But it's metal.
Cold water.
It's not that hard. Okay. Not that room. The other room. That's my room.
All
Did
right.
you see all the pictures of my stuff around?
I'm gonna just take this room.
Okay. All right. Do you need anything? Drink of water?
I'm sure I can get whatever I need in the refresher.
All right. All right. You just calm down. We'll take it from here.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch your name.
My name's Kaisuke.
Okay.
Kaisuke Skyflare.
All right. Well, you seem a little young, Kaisuke. Who's in charge around here?
I think the doc is in charge. All right.
So, is the doctor the captain?
Well, he's certainly the most senior of us, so
Okay.
I always took that for granted.
I'm going to lay down, and I'm going to take very deep breaths, and I'm going to remember Herbert and the wonderful life that we had together. And I'm going to hold my daughter very tightly.
Herbert seemed like a great guy. I'm really sorry that things ended that way.
Thank you. Then she just turns and like goes to lay down in one of the coffin beds and grabs her daughter, who's still holding onto the cabbot.
All right. All right. Yeah, I slowly walk away.
They seem nice. I'm really glad we didn't kill them.
Too bad we couldn't save the Herbert. Oh well.
Yeah.
We have no choice but to stop now. We need a new game plan.
Yeah, I agree. Seems like unless Daisy, unless you know a good way to talk to these guys.
How big is this ship that's following us?
It is smaller than your ship, but it is a gunship fighter.
Got it.
It probably only has between 1 to 3 people on board, but it has a weapon system, which is more than what you've got. It's also got a giant ass engine.
Let's pirate their ship. Then we'll have some weapons and more speed.
You could try that.
About what do you think the crew? What would we expect the crew of this kind of ship to be? That is
Confederate Rangers or Confederate Navy?
Ask Daisy. She seems to know.
Oh, they're all cops, and cops are evil, and you shouldn't trust them and never talk to them.
Please do not tell the children at home that shit.
I thought
It's
we
like
were
what
just about to talk to them.
Yeah, you talk to them and you give them money, and who's ever the best at people usually does it, and then you lie through your teeth, and then they leave. And if they don't leave, you shoot them all, or you have to run really fast and cut your hair and dye it and change your name and all of that stuff.
Does
which
your
I
hair
really
look
don't
dyed
want.
right now, Daisy?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it does.
Just want to be very clear about that. Like we could see the what's it called when the new hair, different color hair.
You can
grows
see
in?
like the brown, like dark
the
brown
roots. Yeah.
Everything she's just explaining to us, we just notice about her instantly.
Yeah, exactly.
You notice she doesn't actually have a last name. She just
Yeah.
Daisy.
And we're all like, oh, that's a nice name. We don't even realize, like, hey, she didn't tell us her last name. I'm good with people. And then I do like a thumbs up.
I want to remind you, by the way, that true AI and virtual intelligence, all robotics are illegal. So if the ship gets searched and Debbie gets spotted, they're going to confiscate and then disassemble her.
Right.
Debbie.
Yeah, Debbie, you should probably keep a low profile, and so should I, as far as some of my skills. I mean, they're not going to like me any more than like Marguerite.
That doesn't leave a lot of us to talk to them.
It's literally
I'm
just
not-
Daisy is the only non-psychic, non-robot.
But I'm not really the best talker. I'm more of a hands-on kind of. I could shoot them, but I don't think I can shoot all of them.
Well, you won't need to shoot. How many do you think are on that board, on that ship?
How many are usually on a cop ship?
1 to 3.
1 to 3.
All right, well, we could definitely take them. In the right
Okay.
circumstance, if they're coming in through 2 entrances, so that's 2 in one spot and 1 in the other, potentially, at the worst. So if we I mean, we're going to have a messed up ship if we kill them. The best chance to take them on is either right at the get-go or not at all. Right? What do you guys?
Captain liked to stab them in the back when they came on board,
Right.
like real quick.
Real quick.
They
Yeah,
just-
that's what I'm
yeah.
saying. Like right at first, like we just ambush them and kill at least one or two of them. And then
Sometimes he would have us talk to the people while everybody else surrounded them from behind, and then they would just shoot him in the head while they weren't looking.
all right.
But that one's kind of messy.
Yeah, I don't know much about. Well, we could stab them. Yeah.
Did we start to do the funeral and then got distracted and didn't really do it?
No, we did it.
Oh no, Daisy definitely incinerated the body.
Yep.
They did.
He's several hundred million kilometers behind the ship now. And he's a particle dust, so the stuff of stars.
Is there a way I can hack my way into knowing what the ship is like? What the ship has?
What the enemy ship has?
Yeah.
Yeah, first you'll have to break the jamming that they're doing that's preventing you from having any sensors. And
Okay.
then you'll have to run a
If I
sensor
break
sweep.
that, will they know I broke it?
Oh yeah.
Okay, then I won't do that.
Okay. When they get close enough, you can just look out the window. But by that point, you'll be way inside weapons range.
They won't know that you're psionic by looking at you. So either three of you, either of you peoples can talk to them.
Yeah. I don't think they can unless they have a one of those kind of creepy sidekicks that can mess with us other sidekicks. Then they can totally check us out.
Do you know that for sure?
If they have that ability, yeah, I think so. I mean, no, I don't know that for sure, but I mean, I think that's the case. But there are those kinds of psychics out there that I've heard about.
People generally like you. She looks at Kai.
Me?
You.
So far, yeah. I mean, do you like me?
Sure, you seem nice.
Yeah.
You seem easy to lie to. You seem like a good mark.
You know, if we got in a fight, I think I'd still win. So I
Okay.
feel pretty confident in staying on the same ship as you.
That's good.
Maslow's hierarchy of stabbing.
She slides him like 100 cred and be like, maybe you can convince them to leave. Tell them we're like doing drugs or something. Illegal cabot breeding. You know. You didn't want to stop for that.
I mean, I've never talked to cops like this before. I mean, I could try, but
Or you could be like, hey, we've got some stuff in the cargo bin that we're selling. We don't really want you to look, but if you could just turn the other way, you can have this money. And if that doesn't work, we just kill them and hope that we win or we don't die.
Is there somewhere I can hide on the cargo ship? Is it big enough?
You can hide in the cargo bay is a giant open area. It's capable of holding 6 tons. Which I'm aware is not a volume of space, but this game is not capable of micromanaging that. It's a small cargo bay.
Right. But is there a place where I could potentially hide?
There's nothing in there except like 1 crate and
Okay.
4 backpacks now, and whatever else you guys left in there.
Bloody backpacks. Cool. We should probably take care of that before anything.
You could try to lock yourself in one of the rooms, maybe hide in a shower.
Yeah.
If you're a box, you could fold yourself down and look like a pile of spare parts in the engineering bay.
Oh, yeah. I'll do that.
we might need you, Debbie, in a fight, though, if we came to that. Just saying.
We'll go with her plan.
Which plane is that?
Tell them we're doing some not nice things in the cargo bay. And then if they don't take the money, we
Kill
make them go to sleep.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Just
Okay.
discussing killing cops. All right. Remember when I said that the people who I asked to play the factions were the ones messing up the universe? I was so wrong.
I am so sorry. I didn't think they would take my thing.
Your thing is the advice. You didn't think they would take your advice to kill a
No,
bunch
I
of
didn't.
cops.
It's fine though. I guess we're doing this. Let's go.
Okay.
Debbie is not very... She doesn't know a lot about the world. She knows a lot about computing.
As the enemy
Your
fighter
plan is the
approaches,
best plan so far.
thousands of small lasers blast into existence directly in front of your ship across your bow to indicate that maybe you should stop. Like, you can
Yeah.
hear someone screaming over the radio, I know you can hear me. I can see you through your goddamn cockpit. Stop your ship immediately or I will fire upon you. This is Confederate Ranger Ensign Tyrol Coloco.
I stopped the ship.
Okay, you stop the ship. Oh, so now you can hear me. All right, well, I'm going to need you to gather your entire crew at the dorsal emergency docking bay. We're going to board you, and you're going to pay some serious fines, and you're probably going to spend the night in jail.
How much are the fines?
Oh, you guys remembered how to use your communication system. Don't worry. Why don't you gather at the dorsal emergency docking bay area, and we can discuss it face to face.
Okay. So I have my 100 cred apparently.
Yeah.
From.
So this is the hallway on the top floor. There's a door set up on the ceiling where someone could open it from both sides, and it will allow passage through. You can see that the enemy gunship is moving so that it can move its dorsal side to yours, connect with you, and then they're going to come over to your ship. You have to open the door, and who's going to be there waiting?
Not me. I give Daisy my 350 creds, and then I go into the docking or the.
Is this for the bribe?
Yes.
I immediately handed him the Kai.
Devi, you transform yourself down to a box-like structure in order to pretend to not be a VI or an AI.
Yes.
Upon any amount of inspection, you will definitely be noted as being an AI. But on casual glance, quick glance, they might not notice it. It's not like they have to play Where's Waldo, but... Kai, you're there. Daisy, are you there?
Yeah.
Dr. Leeto, are you there?
I had sedated the young girl, so is everyone else like locked away?
Miss Tiku and Marguerite Tiku are both in their cabin. Are you locking them in?
Yeah, I think I want to go to them and let them know, just make sure that they're quiet.
Okay.
Stay quiet. We'll try to get through this. And
The
then
cabin escapes and attaches itself around your neck like a minx. Just kind of hangs there and goes,
All right. So I'll pet the cabin as I come and find the other guys, the rest
All
of
right.
the crew.
You lock the door behind you?
Yes.
Okay.
Before the funeral, I wanted to note that I did wash the blood off my face and change my clothes.
If you had a whole hour that you could have done that in, so
But I
yes.
just want to make sure that
Yes.
that's stated. She's
I
not.
mean, I did that too, right?
Sure.
I mean, okay. I mean, I did. I actually said I did it. So
Yes.
okay.
All
Okay.
right, so we're clean and pretty.
You can see someone knocking on the outside of the door with a gun, gesturing for you to open it up.
All right. I open it up.
There are two other people behind him. All three of them are shouldering laser rifles. And they're pointing it at you guys. They all three come floating down, and they're just like, all right, I want to see all your hands over your head on the floor. Get on the floor, all of you.
All right,
I'm
officer.
Kaisuke Skyflare.
Let me show you how dangerous I am.
Well, I'm not able to do that yet. You know, that's coming later, maybe. So, all right, officer. Yeah, my name's Kaisuke Skyflare.
Shut the hell up. I'll ask you about your name when I care.
All right.
Get on the floor, boy.
So he gets down.
So one of the other crew members like puts their foot on the back of your neck and slams your body down onto the deck.
Whoa, officer.
He's got a laser rifle to the back of your head. What about the rest of you? Are you obeying the cops, or what's going on here?
This is how we're
Daisy?
supposed to talk to them. She looks at Kai.
All right, you look at Kai, and that's when one of the cops just reaches out with his laser rifle to butt you in the face with it.
For looking at Kai?
Yeah, because you aren't putting your hands up and getting on the ground. You're just looking
Put
at
her
Kai.
hands up.
All right, you put.
Put her hands up and get on
He
the ground.
stops.
You're supposed to be talking to
Hands
them.
up
Okay.
on the ground.
I'm Ensign Tyrrell Coloco, Confederate Rangers. We clocked your vessel coming off the planet. I want to know, why didn't you guys slow down and stop when we asked you to stop?
I don't know. I think we're having some kind of technical failure.
Are you the captain?
I mean,
Yes, he is the captain.
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
let him up. Let him up, Sergeant. They float you into an upright position. The guy stands way inside comfortable speaking distance from you, the ensign, and says, "What's your name, Captain?"
My name's Kaisuke Skyflare.
Captain Skyflare. me ask you a question, you fucking yahoo. Why didn't you pull over the goddamn ship when we told you to pull over the goddamn ship?
I don't know. I mean, our pilot, you know, he just was having some trouble. You had to.
Hey, holy lights, man! Which one of these two's the pilot?
Daisy over here, I guess.
Okay, Daisy. What kind of trouble you have where you can't stop the ship?
You know the most about a ship.
I'm the mechanic.
So you're
I
not
was
the
trying to-
pilot.
I was fixing something, and
All right, this is smelling awfully suspicious to me. I want to see your license and registration for this ship, Captain.
All right. Do I have that?
Sorry,
No.
what's the guy's name?
You have a registration for the ship, but you guys hadn't picked a captain yet, so it's not registered. Or you're not licensed to fly this ship. The only person on the ship licensed to fly it is Devi.
Okay. So I have something. I have some piece of paper to show him.
You pull up your registration on a comp pad. And he starts looking over and he's like, "Where's your license, Captain? Can't fly the ship without a license."
this is why we didn't stop. Is when Daisy just butts in,
Okay.
and then she starts nudging Kai.
I'm done with you. You talk again, you're going to jail.
Look, officer. We're trying to run a cabot breeding operation here, and look. I mean, if you
didn't hear? It's perfectly legal as of last night.
what?
Yeah.
When did that happen? How?
The local
who
parliament voted on it.
Oh wow. So
Yeah.
well, that's why we were running.
Well,
That's why-
it wasn't ever illegal. We've just confirmed that it isn't illegal.
Well, we were under the impression that
Yeah, Corbin von Valker. We got news he died last night. Parliament voted. He's the father of all cabots.
yeah,
This guy who brought cabots. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
nice guy.
cabot breeding is now perfectly legal. Okay.
Wow. That's why that's one of the reasons
Okay.
why we were worried. What you
Then,
guys were
if you were worried, where's your license? Fly the ship. You need a pilot's
Um,
license.
I mean, well,
All right, going to jail, Captain. Mr. Skyflare.
look, I mean,
So he's like, all right, get out the cuffs, cuff him. The guy like gets his cuffs out really slowly, fumbles with them for a little
Daisy's
bit.
like staring at Kai right now.
look, officer. I think we can come to some kind of understanding. And and Kaisuke starts pulling out the credits. If
Are you trying to bribe me?
No, not at all. I'm just saying that I think you know, given that the fact that there's this new law right now, and regarding
Oh, the
cabin
law
breeding,
against flying a ship without a license has been on the books for a couple hundred years.
I know, but the cabot thing, I think we got to celebrate this. This is
I'm not taking you in for the cabot thing. I'm taking you in for resisting arrest. Taking you in for flying a ship without a license. Your whole story sounds suspicious. I think I'm going to bring all of you in.
well, I mean, the license is on one of our other members on the ship. They're a robot, but they're not. You know.
You have a robot on this ship?
Oh,
Yeah, we got a robot, but not
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So he like snaps at the guy who suddenly becomes very competent at putting cuffs on.
Okay.
Slaps cuffs on the back of you.
All right.
All right. The other guy is going to start cuffing the doctor. Doctor, you're lying on the floor with your hands over your head and someone's about to cuff you. Anything you want to do?
Are we like, you know what? So okay. I go, the truth is, we had a fellow crew member. He was our captain, but he had this rare disease. I don't know what disease. I'm going to say a rare disease.
Okay.
And we couldn't reduce the speed of our ship because it was imperative that we burn his body. So we used the exhaust of our jump drive, our spark drive, to get him out into space. So that caused some electrical difficulty in the ship. When we were finally able to hear that you were calling us, we were able to stop as soon as possibly as we could. But the captain happened to be the licensed person for the ship too, so we're kind of stuck in limbo. So that's why we're floundering here, not doing a very good job in explaining to you, because it's a new situation for us. It kind of hit us in the gut, if you know what I mean.
We can
Is
pay
there
for any
anything that
fine
we
that we
can
could.
do? I mean, is there anything that we can do to help your cause, officer, so that you can kind of give us a little bit of a break, and we can certainly support the Confederacy with some help, if you will.
Okay. This is going to be a two-part roll. The first one is a perform roll.
What's that use?
Charisma. You're lying. You're lying very badly. You're lying on the floor with a gun to the back of your head.
Win situation. So
Yeah.
yeah, let's go for it.
All right. I hope you roll very high on this.
Is there anything we can do to help him?
No. You guys have helped quite a lot. The difficulty number to lie to them has gone up immensely throughout this conversation. Even if you succeed, they're still going to come for your robot.
All right. So 2d6, like always.
Yep.
I don't have any plus.
Okay.
Uh,
Do you have
So
any
Charisma,
bonus to
right?
perform, or do you have a -1 to perform? If you don't have any skill points in perform, it's a -1 on the roll.
then it should be -1. I don't have
Okay.
any addition to perform.
All right. Yep. You have 2d6 -1. Okay. So you got an 8. Now I need you to make a administer roll using intelligence.
I get a +1 on this.
That's a 6. All right.
+1.
But you have a -1 because you don't have administer.
Correct. Okay.
Yep. It cancels out.
Okay.
All right. The guy who's about to cuff you looks over to the ensign and he's just like, I don't believe any of that. Cuff him. Your attempt to lie and then bribe them is just gone so poorly. They're cuffing you. Daisy, the guy who cuffed Kaisuke is coming for you now. He's got another set of cuffs out. He looks upset. You're lying on the floor on your stomach with your hands over your head. What do you want to do?
Is everybody else already cuffed?
Yes, except
Well,
for
there's not
Devi,
much
who's in
I
the
can
engine
do
bay.
now.
So Devi is on another floor, doesn't know what's happening.
I don't know what to do to help out.
The cabot goes floating past,
Hey, there's Mallow.
provides a momentary distraction. The guy is about to cuff you, looks away.
But everybody else is already cuffed.
Yeah,
So they can't even help me.
that's correct. But you could just start stabbing everyone. Let me tell you a tale of Mr. Sicarian, okay? There's a very famous Stars Without Numbers game, the most famous Stars Without Numbers game. It was called Swan Song. And there's an incredible moment where one guy kills 13 other dudes. You see how hard it is to do combat in this system. Can you imagine being a level 1 character and killing 13 other people in 1 versus 1 and 1 versus 3 combat? He stabbed all of them to death with incredible rolls and managed to not die. You could become the Sicarian, or you could just get shot here by 3 people with las
I
rifles
know.
pointed
I
at your
don't know
head.
what my
I know.
luck is right now, because this week it's been pretty bad because my car was on fire earlier. But now
Oh
it's
my
not.
god, Cotton!
Yes,
Oh my
and-
god!
I don't want my character to be on fire.
Why would you not mention that during the intro that your car
Well,
was on
because
fire?
We weren't doing like a how are you doing this week intros. We did a what do you do?
Okay, well, you could have mentioned that your car was on fire. I'm not going to see you on Thursdays. Oh my
It's not on
god.
fire now.
Yeah, I figured
it's
it wasn't.
very-
Otherwise, you should probably be outside putting it out.
Very dead. It's a very dead car now. I don't. It's just
I can
Well.
imagine.
I hope you had insurance.
liability.
Okay.
So no, it doesn't cover that.
Ouch. Is there any way I could have overheard any of this conversation?
Make a notice check with wisdom. You'll need to hit an 8.
2d6 plus. Oh, that's -1. 2d6 -1.
Oh.
No.
You definitely heard the moment where Kaisuke said that there was a robot on board.
Oh, fuck. I will try to get down there as stealthily as possible.
Sure. Make a sneak check. Using your intelligence.
Okay. Oh, I get a +1 for that. 2d6 plus. Yeah, not the best.
All right. So let me tell you what happens. Daisy, you are just thinking you're doomed here. There's nothing you can do. Everyone's paying attention to the cabot temporarily. That's when you hear a cling, clang, cling, and Devi's head pops from the ceiling above you. And you're just like, oh shit. And one of the guards turns and is like, robot! raises a rifle to look at it. Let's go ahead and have everybody roll initiative. It's 1d8 plus your your dexterity.
What was it again?
1d8 plus your dexterity. Well, those guards are they're going much sooner than you guys want them to. Kaisuke Skyflare is actually first to act.
Yeah.
Surprising. Well, he better do some real work here, because otherwise you are boned.
So I'm on the ground right now, right?
And you're handcuffed, yes.
And handcuffed, yes.
On your tummy.
Yeah. Is there anything above, in the hallway that could be knocked off onto
No.
someone's head, for instance?
It is a ship's hallway. You do not leave things lying around that could collide with things while the ship is in motion, because then someone will die.
And I can't move their guns, right? I can't move them or their guns.
You can attempt to move them, but you will only be able to move them with the force you would be able to exert with 2 hands.
Right.
At 40 kilograms, so a very, very weak push.
Right, yeah.
You are not able to affect their guns under the same premise.
Yeah.
Did you take telekinetic armory?
Yeah.
I mean, you could literally just make a sword to slash them through the throat with.
Can I operate that without my hands?
Yeah.
You use it with your mind.
Yep.
Well,
you can literally just create a rifle and point it with your brain and shoot it at somebody at point blank range.
Okay. Well then, yeah. Okay. Can I move?
I mean, you can roll onto your stomach and.
Yeah. Can I move first before is there a move and a?
Yep. So let us open our books to the correct chapter.
Yeah, let me do that.
Galatians chapter 4, verse 17. As I speak truth to you, am I now your enemy? Should be page 45 is the start of mechanics. Page 48 is the start of combat. So you have a main action and a move action. Your main action is like an attack. Your move action lets you move 10 meters. Or do stuff. You are engaged with an opponent. All 3 of the people that are currently doing something have someone engaged with them. Devi is not engaged with anybody, and the Cabot is not engaged with anybody.
Cabot engages? That's awesome.
Well, I mean, the Cabot is a possible target, right?
Oh.
Ouch. Things just got real, guys.
You were like, sure, we could die. If that Cabot dies, we're just going to set the ship on fire on the Viking funeral.
Cabot dies, we riot.
It's going to be that meme of that little girl who sets the house on fire.
Yeah.
All right, Kaisuke, I need a decision. What are you doing here?
Okay, so I got a main action first. I'm going to take my... I'm going to move to someone up. What kind of armor are they wearing?
I mean, they're wearing standard combat armor.
Okay. So, do I know what would be more effective against it, like ballistics or?
Being shot and being stabbed are equally bad for this type of armor. It is TL4 though.
Okay.
It is security armor, AC 14, TL4. It's pretty good.
Okay, so I'm gonna summon up like a ground spike, coming out of the ground, up through one of the cups.
Okay.
The one that's closest to me, I suppose.
All right, make an attack roll using your attack bonus and your telekinetic skill.
Okay. I gotta figure that out. So.
Well, your attack bonus should be like a 1 because you're half warrior.
Okay.
And your telekinetics bonus should be a 1 because you're a level 1 telekinetic.
Okay, so is it 2d6?
It's 1d20 plus 2 plus your dexterity. Or no, sorry, it would be what's your best psionic stat? Let me see here.
Constitution?
Yeah, use that. You have a bonus in it? 1?
Yeah, 1.
Add that. What'd you get?
17?
Yeah. go ahead and roll. Let me tell you what a ground spike would do when made into a weapon. It's not going to be a super huge amount.
Well, I mean, like psionic. I mean, I don't know. Maybe that description is very good.
It'll do 1d6, 1d8 plus 1 damage.
Boom.
Okay. I want to tell you what happens. You hit this guy in the seat of his pants, and the rest of you are just watching this dude that suddenly goes, oh! His gun goes flying from him, and then there's blood that comes out of the like from his butt where a hole has torn in his pants. And there's another hole that opens at his throat. And you can't see anything there, but something is preventing the blood from leaving. Like blood is flowing around an invisible object that appears to have spiked this guy from the floor up his spinal cord and out his throat.
That's weird.
Yeah, so when you say that, the ensign is just like, there's a psychic, kill them all!
Shoot him.
So this is what I imagine it looking like a little bit, but I'll draw a little bit more.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, it's not up his butt enough, but sure.
I mean, you got a real fascination here with the anal probe aspect of it, but I was just thinking like a...
Let me ask you, how do you think the ground spike is going to go into a man's body? Explain it to me.
Well, I mean, when I say ground spike, I don't mean that.
When you said ground spike, you meant a spike that came from the ground, right?
I mean, like this.
Something that would attack someone from below.
I mean,
That's
like
what I
a
heard.
slash, like a... Like I mean, you know.
How many spikes do you know that slash instead of stab?
I mean, look, man. I mean, that's why
I'm sorry. I'm going with the description you gave me, Connor.
Well,
you are the one that wrote Eugenesis, so I'm sorry if I got the wrong impression.
Now we're gonna change the whole story on that, huh? Okay. That's why I had to draw the thing, all right? That's why I'm trying to offer, like, this is how I...
Absolutely. Draw your version of it, but my version is the one I said out loud, so that's canon.
Ah.
Ed is dead.
When you retell it, that's how you're gonna tell it.
Yeah.
You know, I want to take a sideboard here. There's a thing in the tabletop RPG community where designers of games, like people who make Dungeons and Dragons, people who write Dungeons and Dragons modules, people will come and tell them stories. They're never like, oh, I played the Dragon's Demand and this is how I played it. They're like, let me tell you about my character and how he experienced the story. They never say, oh, we played a game, you know, we played something in Faerun in Forgotten Realms, and it was X module, and I had a lot of fun, and we all did this. It's the story of the character. So yeah, in Connor's version of this world, the ground spike will have slashed him in a way that does not injure his butt or his throat, but that's not canon. That's not how the story actually went. Speaking of how the story went, Daisy, Dr. Leeto, you're both being shot by las rifles. They're using the las rifle in burst rifle mode.
Wait,
so
can I get a move action?
Oh yeah, sure. I forgot about that. What do you want to do? You're handcuffed.
So I'd like to move as far away as possible from one of the guard.
Yeah, the guard that's currently bleeding out. Yeah.
Okay. And then
Which end of the ship do you want to go towards? Do you want to go towards the engineering bay, towards where Debbie's popping their head out, or do you want to move towards the cockpit? You want to try to hide in one of the 10 rooms that are on this deck?
the side of the ships that where they aren't. You know, the opposite
The
side.
cockpit. So you're going to make a run for the cockpit.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'm only going 5 meters. I'm just sort of crawling. If I can, I'd like to dive into one of the side spaces that's along here.
Sure. The side spaces are all rooms, so you're going to put yourself in a room. You're going to close the door?
No, I'm not going to close the door.
All right, you duck into a room real quick. There's a trail of blood behind you from the dying man desperately trying to reach you.
with only one arm.
As you go into the room, your psychic power cuts out because you're no longer visually holding it. But of course, he has a hole in his throat, so there's nothing that's going to fix that. The 2 guards go to shoot Daisy and Dr. Leeto at point blank range.
I'll shoot them first.
So, Daisy, what's your armor class?
11. Don't know how the
You are super shot.
armor that I got worked. Okay,
What armor do you have?
armored undersuit.
Okay, let's take a look at that. I
It's
don't think...
13.
Yeah, you're
I'm so
definitely
shot.
you've super shot. You are being hit for 1d10 plus 2 damage. You could potentially die from this.
Yeah,
You
could.
take 6 points of damage.
I died.
Yeah, so this guy puts a foot on your butt and just sprays down your spine. Your whole back is covered in holes as you get hit by 3 laser blasts. Your vision begins to fade out. You are on your first of 6 rounds dying. You will die without immediate medical attention. Doctor, you're in the same situation.
Okay.
What's your armor class? Oh no, you're definitely been shot.
Yeah.
You take 8 points of damage. I believe you're dying now as well.
Let me check. I don't think I've got 8.
I don't think so either.
I've got 6. So yeah,
I was like, I rolled the max hit points, so.
You're dying. Both of you have been shot in the back by las rifles. They're trying to find the psychic. You can hear them screaming, like, "This one's the psychic!" And the other one's like, "No, it's this one!" Dr. Leeto, it would normally be your turn, but right now I need you to make a not dying check. It will just keep you from dying instantly, I think. I forget how this works, so let me look it up real quick. Things are going bad very quickly, though, guys. That part where you're going to bribe the cops, the part where you're going to outrun the cops, every part of this has been a series of really bad failures.
Almost like our first episode of our D&D campaign.
The very first roll you made was a failure that alerted the Confederacy to go check his situation out.
Yep.
Yeah, maybe if our pilot wasn't messing up these rolls so much, I mean, we would be in this situation.
I mean, you're fine. You're hiding out. Let's
Yeah.
see here. Hitting in combat, morale, equipment. Where is dying a horrible death?
I think that's under that roof chapter.
Well, let's take a look at Lazarus packages. That'll probably... That's true. The first episode of Sons of Gold did involve the captain killing himself using a knife ball, but he was next door to a bunch of biopsionicists who instantly healed him. Okay. If a patch is applied to a character who's fallen to 0 hit points, the user can make a blah 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 check against 6. Each round after the first, a -1 penalty after 6 rounds. If there's no medic, you die. Alright, so there's no check that you can make. In 5 more rounds, Dr. Leeto, you will be permanently expired. Fortunately, you have several Lazarus patches on you, correct? I believe you have 4 or 5 Lazarus patches on your person.
I believe I have 4. I'll try to look up mine.
That's good, because there's 2 of you that are dying now, and there will probably be more.
I have 4, yeah.
The ensign has noticed you, Devi, and pulls out his las rifle. It gets spraying wildly at you. So what is your AC?
16, I believe.
All around you, as you're exiting the engineering bay, there are little needles of red energy that hit the wall, but you're perfectly fine. And then the ensign launches himself towards you, Ender's Game style, flying at you at high speed. He makes it just to the door. He's right in front of you when his momentum runs out, and he grabs himself. And it's your turn. He's directly in front of you as a lav rifle pointed at you. He seems to be reaching for some sort of knife with his left hand.
So, for my action, can I shoot him? And for my movement, can I kick him back towards the other 2?
Sure. Let's do it.
That. What do I need to do?
You need to make a shooting roll. So it'll be your shoot plus your dexterity plus your attack bonus. You're right. Kaisuke does kind of look like a David Bowie character.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about with the magenta. Initially, I had a slash, but made into a star just because.
Hold on, I might need a refresh because everything was frozen.
It looks nice.
Thank you. Hopefully, he lives.
I like the
mean,
doctor. The doctor's very detailed. I'm assuming that's a doctor in the lower left.
Yeah. Here.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's him so
I
far.
feel like I could ask him, like, I'm confused. Either this guy belongs to the Russian mafia and he's about to loan me $10,000, or he's like my college gym director and he's like, don't worry, I think you can do this, son. I think we got this.
Sack, my computer's freaking out.
Yeah, I'll have to figure him out. I don't know. Still tweaking, of course.
Well, your shoot is 0. You have no attack bonus. And you have no dexterity bonus, so you're shooting at a 0 if you want to use your last pistol. Or you could try to stab him with your monoblade. You're actually worse at stabbing, but it deals more damage.
I'll just use the pistol.
Okay.
What do I need to roll?
1d20 plus 0. That is not enough to hit, nor is it... Oh, it is enough to hit with shock. Okay, interesting. Does a las pistol have shock? I think that's only melee weapons.
We're in shocking range, though.
No.
Oh, okay.
Well, I still kick him back towards the other two.
Yeah, go ahead and make a exert check.
But there's only what, like 2 left, right?
There are 3 guys. There are 2 of them left.
Yeah. Okay.
2d6 minus 1 plus 1 for your strength.
2d6.
So it's a 0.
Roll 2d6 plus 0.
Yep. Oh yeah. You put this guy. He's about to draw a knife on you, and he goes, ah! He starts sailing backwards. He gets about halfway back towards Kaisuke. He slams into the cabinet. The cabinet goes flying like an 8-ball, hits a wall, and goes, pew. Okay.
Like a trooper.
Daisy, you have 5 turns left before you get eliminated. Kaisuke, the smell of ozone from laser discharge is all over the place. Fresh blood is everywhere. People are dying. Your party is dying. The enemy is dying. They're screaming. They're shouting. Everyone's trying to find the psychic. That's you. What do you want to do?
Okay.
You're hanging half in, half out in low gravity from your room. So you're not on the floor, right? You're like hanging sideways parallel to the floor, poking your head out, trying to see what's going on.
And so one just fell, right? One guard.
Yes, one guard is down, one guard is up.
One guard is flying around.
And the one guard is, the ensign is floating back down the corridor towards you.
All right.
The other guard is standing over the dead bodies of Daisy and the doctor.
And I still have my the handcuffs on.
Yes. And you're cuffed behind your back.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, I'm gonna go for another slashing attack with the telekinetic with my not a ground spike this time. It's gonna be a slash. All right. So we're still gonna try and.
Is it a katana? Is it a Zanpakuto? You making a horse killer sword?
I mean, I'm imagining the ground spike that happens in Final Fantasy Tactics that Agrias has.
Oh boy! All right, yeah. Okay, all right. Someone wants to be a holy knight, I guess.
And there's lights and there's lots of colors and stuff. It's not mundane. So,
Sure.
Yeah.
Make your attack roll with your telekinetic skill. I'm not making it a probe, Shep. Connor is. Yeah, you go to make this slash, and you like disturb some blood along the way as the slash is coming. The guy notices it happening. He's not really clear what is happening, but he ducks backward. Your attack misses by a huge amount. That guard that you just tried to attack noticed the attack and now jumps. He sails in front of you and so is blocking you from exiting the door. He's hanging in the air as if he's above you looking down, and he's got his laser rifle. There's no space for you to dodge, and he's just going to pour Laz right into that room.
Did I have a move action before?
Sure. I mean, you didn't say it, but let's go ahead and do it. What do you want to do? You want to jump to another room?
Yeah, I guess that's the only option that he would really have, right?
I mean, he's just going to do the same thing no matter which room you go to.
That's true. Yeah, makes sense.
So you jump to another room. You pass the cabin along the way. It goes beyond.
You're just Scooby doing from room to room right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, this guy is pouring fire down into your room. What's your AC?
I don't know, nothing probably.
I mean, you've got your armored super jumpsuit back on, right?
Did he
Somehow, every single shot misses around you. Let's be clear here. These rooms are 98 square feet. The doorway is about as wide as you are, but somehow he sprays the door and above your head, and every single shot misses.
Wow.
He looks down at the rifle and he's like, "Son of a." Dr.
Singes the
Leeto.
top strand of his hair.
Yeah.
Oh, he used to have one of those anime single strand, whatever they're called. And no, he doesn't. It got burned off. Leeto, you have 4 rounds left before you bleed to death. The ensign tries to get a hold of anything to push himself back, pushes himself off of Leto's body that's floating around, leaps back towards Devi, and starts spraying laser rounds. Laser rifle and full blast. Yeah, because it's the garden and then it's the ensign. It's 2 different people.
Okay. I thought Davey killed the other one.
Nope. Devi didn't even hurt them. Instead, Devi is going to get shot. I'm guessing a 23 will hit you.
Yep.
You take 6 points of damage, which I think doesn't actually hurt you that much.
Yeah, I got 12.
Yeah. All praise to the AI lords. Unfortunately, it's very difficult to repair you. You take enough damage that an ordinary human would be killed instantly. You know, like all of the other humans around you that just died. You walk it off. It's no problem for you. It's also your turn. This guy is point blank with you again. He's sailed back down the corridor to be directly in front of you.
I'll just slash him this time.
Okay.
So... Oh, my computer's still freaking out. Just, what do I need to roll?
A stab is -1 for you, and you have a strength of +1, so that's a 0. You roll a 0. You need to hit a 14 on a d20.
Okay.
Yeah, you stab him. You deal 1d8 + 1 damage. Okay. How does it feel killing another human being? Is this the first time you've ever killed somebody?
Yes.
Okay, how does it feel as you just stab this guy with the monoblade? This thing is literally 1 molecule thick, and it slides real easy through his cheap combat armor, right up into some vital organs and hits his heart.
She
just
really doesn't process it. All she's thinking about is getting her other friends.
Are you going to try to leap for them then? You're going to make your way down the corridor towards them? You pull the knife out of his heart. As he floats, he can't stop his momentum anymore, so he's locked in a spin. His blood is coming out of him in a spiral, and he's reaching for you as best he can as he goes away from you. And that's when the Cabot collides with him and goes, "Pew," and then bounces away. He gets pushed into the engineering room. Devi, you managed to make your way down the corridor. There was 1 guard left. He's by the cockpit. He's blocking, I want to say Connor, but that's not his name. Kaisuke in a doorway. You're next to Leeto, Daisy, and another dead guard. Do you want to stop by any of them? Do you want to try to keep going?
Do I think I can help them in any way?
You know that Lazarus patches exist and that Dr. Leeto has several of them. You're not sure how many. You've never applied them before, but you could try to save his life with them. Or Daisy's life. You know, their lives are literally in your hands right now.
Can I only do 1 right now?
You can't do either of them right now.
Okay.
But you can stop at the doctor
yeah.
and be able to take his patch off next turn.
Yeah, I'm going to stop.
Daisy, you've got 4 rounds to live. Kaisuke, you're locked in a room. There's a guy with a gun.
He's trying to murder you.
No, he's trying to murder you really badly.
I didn't lock, or am I locked in the room in the sense that his body's in front of me?
His body's blocked. You could try to lock the door in front of him. But you know what? I feel like now's a great time to take our 2-hour break.
Yeah.
Let's do that. Will Kaisuke live? Will he die? Will he prove that he's a dangerous dude? I actually feel like that butt spike thing kind of already did, but
Yeah, that was
we'll find out more in the second half. Who lives? Who dies? Who tells a story? Will this robot be able to mentally process murdering people? Find out in the second half. We'll be back in about 8 minutes. Swish, swish. New stinger transition. Swish, swish.